Hello everyone, today I'm going to try and do a book review, a succinct, lucid book review on Enter Ghost by Isabella Hammad. Now I say this because I've tried to record this video a couple of times already on other days and the results have just been a bit of a mess because there's so much going on in this book and I'm really struggling to get the balance of what to tell you or what not to overburden you with. So I'm going to try it do succinctly and lucidly, but forgive me if it goes off track. I'm going to try and keep it on course. This is an excellent book. I picked this up this year because I think it was shortlisted for the Women's Prize 2025. Enter Ghost. Okay. This is a book about Palestine, but it's so much more than that. Enter Ghost is a very famous line, or rather a famous stage direction in Shakespeare's Hamlet. It's when the ghost of the murdered king comes in and sets out all this craziness that eventually leads to the unraveling of Denmark and Hamlet going crazy and killing people, and everyone kills each other, and it's a giant tragedy. You've got that, therefore, already. So we are with a group of actors and theatre creatives in Haifa, northern Israel, who are creating a Hamlet cast completely and directed completely by Palestinians. Great. So you've already got a lot there. You've got a lot there on the parallels of Hamlet and Palestine and Palestinians and Israelis and the power and the fear that free speech and arts and culture can bring into any society. Isabella then layers this again. The main character is a woman called Sonia, a 38-year-old woman, member of the Palestinian diaspora who has been living in the UK all her life. She is visiting Haifa and the West Bank to see her family home and her sister and other, long distance relatives that she hasn't seen for a long time. On coming back, she's an actor. On coming back, she finds herself, her family home has been sold to Israelis. Her sister is stressed working at a local university. And she is dragged into a read of Hamlet because they can't find any women to play Gertrude or Ophelia. And that's how Sonia gets sucked into this production. And through this and the myriad of characters that are involved in this theatre production, we examine what it is to be Palestinian, whether to be born there, to be staying there, to be part of the diaspora, to have been born overseas, what is home, and what is it to be Palestinian when there is Palestinian abroad, when there is so much suffering for the Palestinian people in the West Bank and in Palestine. This book was evidently written before the terror of the past 18 months. And this book is not set in Gaza. But I've obviously been reading this book with all the genocidal wars going on the television. And actually, I happen to be working in that field as well. So there's a lot of profound weight in this book. But there's also some brilliant bits from Isabella as she tries to layer it. So through this production, we also have hierarchy, the roles of men and women, and how this plays out both in society and in terms of the play. The production is being funded by a Palestinian member of the Israeli Knesset. So the production comes to the ears of the Israeli intelligence services, which brings that attention as well. This is an extremely dynamic, adrenaline-fueled, profoundly intellectual and profound examination of what it is to be Palestinian and to be able to operate and have freedom of thought, freedom of speech in the conditions that they are being required to live in. It's amazing. It needs time to be read, though. I would say that Isabella, the table read for Hamlet starts at about page 90. And you need to sort of plow through to that bit because after the read starts, this book really lifts off. It takes off with energy that matches the challenges, the internal dynamics of trying to get this production on with the big geopolitics that's going on around the production. But there's a lot of information that goes on in the first 90 pages as Isabella brings Sonia from the UK to Haifa, and as we examine what has gone on in her family's world back in Palestine. Yeah, I loved it. You don't need to be overly familiar with Shakespeare's Hamlet to read this. Any of the themes that Isabella wants to examine as part of their compare and contrast are really done by the characters. So don't feel that you need to know Hamlet, front to back. You really don't. The themes of Hamlet, as they're discussed by the actors, really come through in the book. But it is a brilliant way for outsiders and non-Palestinians to really understand the internal conflict for many Palestinians and how they feel and relate to Palestine if and when they're living or staying outside of Palestine, and that kind of guilt or association or impact that comes from witnessing members of their community suffer when they themselves are not necessarily suffering. It also, has profound ideas on family, on national identity and nationalism and nationhood and what that means. Enter Ghost is an extremely accomplished novel, and I do recommend it. There's a lot in there, and I hope that was okay in my review, but it is good. It is good. If you are reading this and you're about sort of like page 50, 60, and you're looking at reviews going, should I read this? I'm here to tell you, please keep going. Please keep going. It really picks up from page 90 once the table read starts, and you'll fly through it. But this is really recommended. Enter Ghost, Isabella Hammad.